everything else that you see out there. I mean, it's really extraordinary the amount of companies that we have every year, and how it's expanding all the time. So this is really great, but I mean, I think it's extremely important that we do that, because it's a really great promotion for fitness. And we want to make sure that everyone participates in fitness in one way or the other. And the reason why we have so many different sports is because even though we believe that weight resistance training and bodybuilding is the best thing for weight control and for your health and fitness, but there's so many other means of staying fit, if it's bicycling, if it's running, if it's gymnastics, if it's wrestling, if it's pole vaulting, or whatever it may be. And so we have all of those sports included here, including us, ballroom dancing. I think that's one of the sports you can do very late in life. And so that all of this is part of the health and fitness weekend, and it became the largest fitness weekend in the world. There's nowhere where they have a bigger one than this. So we're going to continue making it grow. But this seminar that we have here is, as I say every year, it's all about you being able to ask questions to the champions, the people that were yesterday competing, and the people that were winning yesterday. You should have a chance to ask them, how did they win, what did they do, how did they train, how did they eat, how important was diet to them, and whatever question that you have. And the same is also the case with me. I mean, any question that you have for me, I'm more than happy to answer those questions. And as a matter of fact, we should start up. First, we were talking about just yesterday the actual bodybuilding competition, the Arnold's Classic. As you could see, that finally Branch won the competition. He did something very smart. He worked on his posing. Because last year he had a fantastic body, but he didn't pay as much attention to his posing. And he did not control his stomach the same way as he controlled it yesterday. Yesterday he did a great job to suck in the gut, to flex his abs underneath the cusps, and to show how small his waist was compared to his deltoids. And he had every so often the smile, and then again the serious look. And he really did some great drama. And so because of that, he got some extra points. And I talked to the judges afterwards, and they said, yes, I gave him an extra point over what I gave him last year. And that's what put him over the top. That's why I won. And this is why I always say to people in the bodybuilders that you can train all you want, and you can have the most muscular body. But if you don't know how to display it, you're not going to win. And it's the same thing as, you've seen yesterday, again, there were several bodybuilders, they hit the pose, and before the pose is there, they already go on to the next pose. Well, then you never get to really see the pose. It's the same thing as you take a painting, a Picasso, and every time you're about to show it to someone, you put it away. You say, isn't that a great painting? And you put it away, and you never really get to see the painting. And you say, no, this is going to be really nice, and you're going to sell it for $30 billion. Look at this. And you put it away again. And you look, and you never get to see it. I mean, I've never seen an art auction, where someone does not display the painting. Put the spotlight on it, has a nice frame around it, and give the people a chance to see it and to analyze it. And that is a big problem with a lot of the bodybuilders, because they can't hold a pose long enough. They got to train in order to hold the pose long enough. If you do a double bicep pose, then do the double bicep pose and stay in the double bicep pose and count to 3. And then you go slowly on to the next pose, rather than just fading away before you ever counts to 1. You already fade away and you go into the next pose. And then a lot of bodybuilders have that. But Branch stopped yesterday. He held the pose long enough. And that's what put him over the top, because there were 2 or 3 other bodybuilders that had a terrific body. So it's always on the hand when you see like 3, 4 bodybuilders that look very much alike, and they have terrific bodies, a lot of definition, a lot of size and all this. It's all about posing. How do you put yourself over the top? It's through posing. When Ike was competing, I was relying heavily on posing. Knowing exactly what the lights are, check it out what the lights are, where to stand on the stage and so on. And also, of course, the psychology is very important. How you communicate with your competitors, and how you make psychological warfare. And that makes you always fun, the whole thing. But anyway, so I think that the standard of bodybuilding really is going up all the time. I think the definition, the muscle separation of the bodybuilders has been terrific. I mean, I was very pleased yesterday to see that. And also on an amateur level, out on the exhibit halls over there at the convention center, it was really amazing the level of competition that was over there. It was really extraordinary to see that, and to have them come from 60 different countries coming together and competing here. It was really extraordinary. So I was very pleased with the level of competition that you've seen yesterday. Now, why don't we open it up to some questions here? And then the first question we're going to do from Twitter, because you know a lot of this stuff goes out on Twitter, and we always want to make sure that our Twitter followers are up to date with what we're doing here. So, do you have anything from Twitter?
Exactly. I actually have kind of a mix. This is from Robert, who's here somewhere. He said in the front row on his Twitter account.
You want to raise your hand?
There he is.
Okay, there he is. Okay, right
And
under
he
there.
asked me what's more important, nutrition or staying physically active?
Well, this is pretty much just the same question as if you would say what's more important, fluid or food? You know what I'm saying? I mean, how do you choose? I mean, you need to drink and you need to eat. So which would you choose? I think I would say both of them are very important. But if I would choose one over the other, I would say that physical exercise, continuous exercising and vigorous exercising is more important than nutrition. But I mean, I would not, therefore, not have any good food and nutrition and food supplements. I would definitely also rely on that. But I mean, exercising every day, in one way or the other, if it is running, if it is bicycling, if it is weight training, and I'm talking about vigorous exercising, where you go from one exercise to the next, from one machine to the next, and really work up a sweat, and really, get your heart rate up and so on. I think this is very important. Yes,
Yeah, if we do one more before we move to the audience, and that you kind of started to answer it, but a lot of people are asking something along the lines of, do you still work out, and what's your routine?
Well, yes, it's funny because when I became governor, it was the most frequent question 7 years ago. People always ask me, so now since you're governor, are you still working out? I mean, as if you stop when you become governor. I mean, you don't stop working out no matter what. It doesn't matter what your job is. I mean, I have been at the Vatican and have talked to the Pope, and he worked out at 5 in the morning for 2 hours. And I've been at the White House, and I've seen presidents working out from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, or from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. I've seen the busiest people in the world that found time early in the morning to work out. And of course, the secret is to find time in the morning, because later on, everyone wants to take their time away from you. If it is your kids, when they get up in the morning, if it is your family in general, if it is your job, if it's your friends wanting to invite you out for lunch or for dinner and all these things, everyone is trying to grab that time away from you. So this is why it's important to do it in the morning, and that's what I do. I get up in the morning at 5:30, and the first thing that I do is I start bicycling or some cardiovascular training, and then at night, before I go to sleep, I work out with weights a half an hour. But this is pretty much every day I do that. And I'm very proud of the kind of workouts that I do. As a matter of fact, I just lifted last week 360 pounds. 360 pounds. I lifted Rush Limbaugh out of his chair. Just a joke. He's a friend of mine. Anyway, okay, let's go now to the audience. Yes.